What is going on, everybody? Back making another video. Today we're looking at YouTube's official Twitter, and the reason for that is because of all of these new changes YouTube's going to be implementing in 4 months. The changes are pretty much just going to be changing how the whole viewing system works for kids, or as they say kids, they don't really specify. It's very vague. I don't know if that means like under 13 or just anybody that's a minor, or if that means for like little kids watching like nursery rhymes. It's very vague what these changes are, and it's pretty concerning for a lot of people. There's already tons of big creators tweeting about this and making videos on it, and I just want to put my thoughts out there about it and pretty much just asking how it'll affect me, because to be honest, a lot of people don't know. A lot of this is very vague and concerning for tons of content creators because we honestly don't know yet how it's going to affect us directly. So let's just start off by reading YouTube statements. The first one was, we will treat data from anyone watching children's content on YouTube as coming from a child, regardless of the age of this user. This means we will only collect the data needed to support the operation of the service. So that means if I'm watching kids content on my channel, which I'm not, I mainly just watch other Roblox creators and Fortnite, and I watch some mature content as well, kind of like Nelk and stuff. They go to parties and drink, and so I watch a pretty wide scale of things on like the age category in quotation marks, on the age scale or whatever. So that's a new change that they're implementing. There's 5 of these tweets in the thread. The second one is, personalized ads will stop running on content made for kids. So if you're making kid content, you'll pretty much get less ads and less ad revenue, and the ads that will be getting taken away from you, which decreases your revenue, are the personalized ads. Pretty much ads that are targeted towards a specific audience. Like if you watch a lot of Fortnite stuff, you'll probably get ads for like Fortnite headsets or Fortnite gaming controller, Fortnite this. So pretty much those ads for your audience will go away on your channel, which results in decreased revenue for content creators that create kid content. Features like comments and notifications will no longer be available on videos made for kids. This is the huge one that a lot of people are talking about. Like a lot of this is really crazy. It's a ton of changes all at once, but this one is insane. If you make kid content and family friendly content, not only are you going to be like making less money, but you're just not going to be able to interact with your audience at all with comments, which is like a huge part of the interaction with your audience. People getting to comment their opinions on the video, what they want you to do for upcoming stuff. You know, there's a lot of things that go with comments. And then also notifications. If you make kid content, your viewers aren't going to be getting notifications when you upload. Like the only way that people can find your videos or anything is if it just pops up in the recommended or something. No more notifications. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's probably more behind it. If I'm not getting it, please comment down below, because notifications taken away from your videos, like that's kind of crazy. Creators will have to identify content made for kids and will additionally find videos in this category using machine learning. So this is the part that is kind of cool, but at the same time not. If you're making kid content or if you're not making kid content, you get to label it yourself. Kind of like over on Twitch or on Mixer, you can label it as family friendly, 13 plus, or a mature stream on those streaming platforms. And the rules of like what you can talk about are slightly different on them. But there will be consequences if you categorize your stuff as like kid content or not. And the difference between this and the Mixer or Twitch situation, the reason it's good on like Mixer and Twitch is because they have set guidelines of like what you can talk about and can't. Like for example, if you're doing like a teen stream or a family stream, you can't talk about sexual things or drugs, which is like pretty easy to stand by. But for stuff like this, they pretty much go on a huge thing about how gaming can be considered kid content, and like toy reviews and acting in certain ways, and like you'll be punished if saying you're not making kid content when you really are. I think it should be like the other way around. Like if you say you're making kid content and then it's going out to kids and then you do something that's inappropriate for kids, then you should be punished. But you shouldn't be like just making family friendly content that anyone could watch and saying that, you know, it's not directed towards kids, and then getting punished because they think it's directed towards kids. Like, that's kind of weird. So let's just read the official blog. This was their last post made about it. Also, we know a lot of parents and kids watch YouTube together, but for kids watching alone, we recommend using the YouTube Kids app. Here's the official blog: an update on kids and data protection on YouTube. Responsibility is our #1 priority at YouTube, and nothing is more important than protecting kids and their privacy. We've been significantly investing in the policies, products, and practices to help us do this. From its earliest days, YouTube has been a site for people under 13, but with a boom in family content and the rise of shared devices, the likelihood of children watching without supervision has increased. We've been taking a hard look at areas where we can do more to address this, informed by feedback from parents, experts, and regulators, including COPPA concerns raised by U.S. Federal Trade Commission and the New York Attorney General, that we are addressing with a settlement announced today. So, new data practices for children's content on YouTube. Here's where we get into the details. We are changing how we treat data for children's content on YouTube. Starting in about 4 months, like I said, we will treat data from anyone watching children's content on YouTube as coming from a child, which they already said in their original form. Pretty much all of this was said in these 4 original things. Before the blog, in order to identify content made for kids, creators will be required to tell us. So the creators get to tell YouTube whether they think their content is, I keep wanting to say family friendly, but that's like different than kid content. There's no way that falls under the same category. Like, you should be able to just make content that anybody should watch, but that doesn't mean it's directed towards children. I don't know, but moving on. Well, and then they'll also use machine learning to find videos that clearly target young audiences. So this is the weird part that a lot of people are mad about as well. This whole thing is kind of a shocker. So they'll be using a machine to find videos that clearly target young audiences. So I guess if your video gets flagged as a kid video because you say something about like a toy or a kid character, like if you make a reference or emphasize something, your video can like be flat. I mean, that's like getting flagged for demonetization or copyright. But it's one thing if you're making kids content and it's inappropriate for kids, but like, there's no way I can just say I make content for everybody, it's not directed towards kids, and then they're like, nope, kid content, you're flagged. And then they take away a portion of my monetization money, and they take away my notifications for all my viewers and my comments and my interaction. Like, this is kind of crazy, because as most of you guys know, I do Roblox on my channel, and that's categorized like technically as a kids game, but there's definitely a bunch of communities in Roblox that aren't kid targeted, such as Phantom Forces or Counterblocks, which are like first-person shooter games. Pretty much. The thing about Roblox is it's like a kid's game, but not all of it is like role-playing or adopt me crap. A lot of it made for teens and young adults, because Roblox is a platform that is entirely based off of people developing their own games on that platform. So it's kind of weird. I mean, a lot of Roblox YouTubers are concerned. A whole bunch of like YouTubers in general are concerned about this. A lot of people don't know if they're going to be categorized as kid content or not. A lot of people that are like kind of in between, like playing a game such as Roblox, like this is somewhat a kid's game because there's stuff like Adopt Me and like role-playing stuff, but at the same time there's large communities on Roblox games like, I don't know, Power Simulator. Like if you ever seen Tanker's channel, he's obviously not a little kid and he doesn't really put on a show or anything like a kid's channel would. I'm not throwing any disses out there or anything. Like, this is just, everybody makes their own content, and this is just how it is. But channels like Russo or Calixo or Terabyte, like they're screaming and they're like 100,000% family friendly, and they're just like putting on a huge show, like trying to be super flashy and entertaining for children. It's like kind of obvious who their target audience is. But people that just like straight up make videos on a game like Roblox that isn't entirely focused on kids, there's a lot of Counterblocks YouTubers and like Strucid YouTubers and Phantom Forces YouTubers. Like this game, stuff like Roblox or Minecraft or Fortnite, like it's not all kid based, but I mean, as a lot of people know, even big games like Fortnite, it's so mixed. Well, some Fortnite creators like Laserbeam that does entertaining stuff and creative on Fortnite and like kind of puts on a show, will that be categorized as like kid content on Fortnite? And then like the pro players that are like swearing and stuff, will that not be categorized as kid content? Like, I don't think it would. That means Laser Beam like is categorized as kid content whenever he's playing the same game just differently. Like, it's kind of weird because Fortnite has like a huge competitive scene, millions and millions of dollars like all the time. There's a huge competitive community in Fortnite, but at the same time they're like making a bunch of changes that are focused more towards the new players and the little kids on Xbox and stuff. I don't know, there's just so many split communities and stuff, and it's just such a blurry line to draw in this whole situation, and honestly a lot of people have no idea how it's gonna go. The thing that I was saying about like the kid YouTubers like on Roblox, like they're obviously targeted towards kids, but there's a lot of people that aren't. I'm not. I don't put on any sort of show. I just make like relevant content to whatever game I'm playing. Like if there's an update, I make a video on the update or whatever's new. I wouldn't categorize myself as like a kid content creator. If I'm categorized under like a kid content creator and I make a lot less money and a big portion of my audience isn't able to get actually all of my audience isn't able to get notifications, and a lot of my audience isn't able to see me just because I'll be like on YouTube Kids instead of YouTube. Do I have to start swearing a few times per video? Not saying too many swear words so I don't get demonetized, but also enough to not be categorized as like a kid content creator? I really don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this, and so does a lot of people. Tons of content creators they just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. The only good thing about this is that we have 4 months, and there'll probably be a ton more information released within those 4 months because this only came out 13 hours ago. There's going to be a lot of information and coverage and content pretty much just talking about this whole situation the next 4 months. So hopefully we get some more details. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't know how this will affect me. All right. Great video.